Yes, legends. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing fantastic. Happy Monday to everybody. Let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin all together. Make sure to destroy that like button on your way in, guys, if you do enjoy the content. And let's say hello to the beautiful community. Let's go. Let's go. Right. Bitcoin. We are just hovering here at the lows from April of 2025. We did almost scratch it with the dump that we had late last night or early this morning, depending on where you are. Okay, we almost scratched it. We were just missing it by a few dollars to hit that April higher low. We're forming a little bit of a local double bottom here. However, is this price action to the downside impulsive? Do we see a larger relief rally from this point, or are we going to range a little bit, test the lows again? We're going to basically cover the different structures that we do have here. I do believe that we are going to slow down. We are slowing down in this area, and I am looking for a significant bounce to happen in the next coming days. Okay, it could get still a little bit choppy, and we're going to talk a little bit of the trading plan. It's more of a swing trade plan scenario here on YouTube, of course. I've got a very, very good, important announcement to make, guys. Very, very important one for you legends. I'm just going to go quickly through the comment section, say hello to the beautiful community. Andy is early today. Yes, I'm a little bit busy later on, okay, because I have to do, got some meetings and stuff to do in the next coming hours. So I won't be around on New York Open, but we'll change that for the next coming days. Eventually, that's when we like to go live. Anyway, much love, Andy Candy, all night. All right. Yes, my man. Exactly. Exactly that. Supreme, much love. Butos, 1335. Andy the man. Cali, how are you doing, my man? Andy closing his longs. Yeah, well, not long as of yet, unfortunately. If I long with a small amount here. I didn't manage to catch the local double bottom, even though we did talk about it on yesterday's stream. Longs are looking very, very interesting. Yesterday we talked about on the stream, if you wanted to get into the double bottom, so longing around about the 76k region, right? You kind of wicked beneath it, or long the April higher lows, which we missed by a few dollars, not too far off. That would have been nice because that's already bouncing almost $3,000 over $3,000 at this point. But apparently that's it wasn't hit. Okay, so maybe if you did decide to long late last night, early this morning, around about the 76k region, I mean, it is up $2,000 from that speculative double bottom or hit the April higher lows. Even though this morning with the community, I'm not really convinced of this movement to the downside. Okay, we're going to talk about this because it doesn't look like an impulse. It doesn't look like a finish 5 waiver. It fits in better as a 3 waiver, meaning that you could form a flat then down, or form a flat for a W, then a zigzag, and then a flat here for X, and then come down, right? This could range for a few days. It's the reality. So I don't see a major rally happening from here, even though it is possible, of course. However, this movement down is very disturbing. It's very corrective-y, lots of overlap. So I don't think that this is particularly the low before the larger bounce. I think we could claim the lows again and, maybe even come down to lower prices. So we're just going to be, we're going to create those plans, be ready here for that swing long, because that, this is the same thing as here. I did manage to enter a small swing short, and when I got aggressive is when we formed this range for that original swing short position from the last few weeks, right? When you want to catch the bottom, you want to get in at the lowest price possible, double bottoms or an SFP, small amounts. If you get that confirmation rally and a corrective, move to the downside, that's when you add aggressively, right, to the long positions. We need a confirmation of change of structure. We need the bulls to step in, right? A sign that the bulls are stepping in. We are very, very downtrending at the moment. So catching the lows is you want to be defensive, right? This market is here to take money off you, not to give you money. So we will want to be a little bit careful on that swing long. Eventually, I do expect that bounce. I do expect that reversal It's all about detecting it. Sometimes you just need to be aggressive and go in, right? Bang, I'm going in, stop loss here, 0.5% risk. I'll add to the position if we do get a structure change here in the next coming day. We'll just have to add to the position aggressively or get into new existing trades, right? Very, very similar to the short trade. You either catch the high or you catch the impulsive move down and you detect the correction to get into the third wave. It's the same thing here. You either try and catch the bottom at this zone, understanding that, yeah, we are, very, very likely getting to the end stages here of the movement to the downside, or you wait for the impulsive move to the upside and the corrective retracement. Say there's only two ways to get in on the market. You try and catch the high or the low, which is dangerous. You need to manage risk. You need to get into good levels, be defensive, or you catch the correction because you are interested in the third wave, which is the most explosive wave, the C wave or the third wave. And it's the wave that you want to participate in, right? So the same here, right? When are we going to get that bounce? We were going to create some lows and then get this one. We want to be in this wave. That's the wave we want to be in. We don't know how far it can go eventually, but that's what we are trying to detect. Anyway, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about how to structure everything, what we're looking for. We'll go through the higher time frames. We'll cover a little bit of silver. I'm interested in silver very, very much, guys. I want to give a few examples here of what happened to Bitcoin on the previous cycles and then what's happening to silver right now. And I think it's very, very interesting because I do see a big bounce for silver happening in the next coming weeks after this flash crash that we got, right? We got a major dump on silver and, rest of the metals as well. Gold has also got a major move down in the last few days. We'll be taking a look at order flow, the CVD divergence, the liquidity heat map, and many more things. Okay, legends, let's go quickly through the comment section. First of all, I need to give the disclaimer before we start off, of course, that the content is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. The information provided is not guaranteed to be accurate or complete. Always conduct your own research before making any financial decision. Hello everybody, hope you're doing great. Smash up the like button. Like button yesterday was a little bit low, guys. It was a little bit lower than expected, and that is not acceptable. We got over 50 likes already. That's good enough. Over 300 people watching. Much love. Is the relief rally done? Was 98k it? Wow. Yeah, on the higher time frame, it seems so. There is the flat potential, the higher time frame flat potential. We covered it on quite for a long time on yesterday's stream. We were talking about the higher time frame flat potential. We can cover it today for 5-10 minutes. I went in without stop loss. 75k is a great entry price. Distance music. Maybe another running flat on the lower time frame. It is possible. We're going to talk about that. I assume that this is the lower time frame that you are talking about, Ash. BTC is trying to bounce off of a trend line that does back 6 years as we speak. Wow, interesting. I haven't checked that trend line. We miss you, man. Have a wonderful day. Stay Andy forever. Much love to you. Hello to everybody. CMRP closed more of the 124k short. Got like 20% of the trade running for below 70k. That was the trade I've ever took, the best trade I ever took. CMRP, absolute legend. Very good trade. Any short trades that I had from higher from a few months ago, most of them were closed. I don't usually hold a trade for 2-3 months. It's usually a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks at most. Usually, okay. You're not going to see me with a trade open from 3 months ago. We like to get into swings, but internal swings, right? So literally this movement to the downside, right? This is the swing, right? A couple of weeks. We're really looking for this wave, and I think most of the profits or significant profits should be start be taken here, because I think a general bounce is going to happen in the coming weeks. Okay, could get a little bit more choppy, a little bit more messy. But this is the wave that I'm interested in, right? So same as here, if I'm looking for a short trade in this zone, I'm looking to take out the lows and I'm looking for a significant wave, right? Not like having a short for 6 months. That's not usually how I trade. My swing trades are usually couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks max. Usually, all right. Maybe there's a trade that I can hold on for a month or two, but it's not usually like that. Everybody, much love to everybody. Okay, I got an important announcement, guys, to talk about. It is your chance at the moment, and this is going to be awesome because we're changing things inside of the trading community. We are also adding different markets inside of the trading community, such as silver. We'll be adding gold, the S&P 500, analyzing and giving these different zones where the price could reject or bounce, or looking for trading opportunities. We've added silver as well inside of the trading community. Not only silver, we'll be adding gold, S&P 500, gold, crude oil, and many different markets as well, apart from Bitcoin and crypto. We want to start using, of course, these different markets, which they do respect the technical analysis much better than Bitcoin and crypto in general. And it's your chance right now to get access 2 months for free, guys. Super simple to follow the steps. The only requirement, sign up, minimum deposit for your trading. That is for existing users as well under our affiliate. You can use Bluffin. I can share you the instructions as soon as you send me the word access on Telegram, guys. We are giving 2 months for free in the community so you can see what it's all about. Send me access right away to the Telegram, and I'll send you the information. You just need to sign up and do a minimum deposit on an affiliate exchange for your own trading. Okay? So that is said, 2 months for free in the community, which we are adding commodities, not only crypto, and we're going to make 2026 massive, guys. So make sure to take advantage of that. Send me the DM right away. I'll be answering the messages in the next coming hours. Let's go. Much love to everybody. It is time for Bitcoin. What is going on? Do we get that bounce? First of all, I want to cover silver, because silver, something that I'm just going to point out that we mentioned also today in the community, which is, I think it's absolutely fascinating, where silver is literally got the bounce in the last few days. When we take a look at the top of the 2011, bull market, right? The top of the bull market for silver, which was in 2011, just topping out under $50, bottoming out here on the C19 crash in 2020, just round about $12. When we get the Fibonacci tool here, retracement, and we take a look at the expansion, which is the golden ratio 1.618 extension, that is taking Fibonacci retracement from the highs to the lows here. All of this accumulation, the Fibonacci extension levels, 618, that is 1618, 2618, they are important. We literally got above the 2.618 and ended up rejecting all the way down to the 1.618 expansion, holding nicely as support. When we do zoom in on silver here, we can see how that is holding very, very nicely. I do believe, based on history and looking at the expansion Fibonacci ratio, this is a very, very solid level. We've got a nice consolidation. This was actually flipping as support before continuing the rally in the last few weeks for silver. And right now we came straight back down, only to bounce at that 1.618 expansion from the previous bear market, the bull market top and the bear market, all of this range, Fibonacci expansion 1.618. And I just want to give you a quick example on the price of Bitcoin throughout the previous cycles, going here through the weekly time frame, how powerful that Fibonacci expansion is. Look at this. This is the 2013-14 bull market that we had for Bitcoin, when we had that multi-year bear market and recovery. When you get that Fibonacci tool here from the top to the low of the bear market, look at that 1.618 expansion. We almost tapped the 2.6, we got the rejection, and we bounced at the 1.618 expansion, guys. This is absolutely phenomenal, right? This is silver. Silver just came down and got that bounce at the 1.618. As you can see, Fibonacci ratio, beautiful bounce in the last few days, already bouncing over 10% from that level. And I do think on the higher time frame, this could really hold and get a significant rally in the next coming weeks. We have many examples, not only in the 2014 to 2017 price action here. As you can see, bear market, expansion, 1.618 bounce. When we fast forward, okay, to the previous bear market on Bitcoin, we do get that same tool, Fibonacci, from the top of the high of the bull market of 2017, right, which is at under $20,000, to the lows of the bear market that was just around about $3,200. You can see here the expansion, 1.618 golden ratio. You flipped it as support right over there. So not only here, massive multi-year from the top bear market, round formation, you get your fib expansion to the high, to the low. We bounced off the 1.618, not only in 2021, also in 2017, right over here, as you can see. And something very similar is happening to silver in the last few days. We got the multi-year bear market here and round accumulation on silver from 2011. It's happening again here, as you can see. Beautiful bounce at that 1.618 expansion. Just something that I wanted to point out. Okay, I think this is just a major flash crash, just a major long squeeze and a little bit of a shakeout. Obviously, there's been a lot of selling, okay, for all of those early investors in the last year of silver. But ultimately, I do believe that, you know, we're likely going to get a larger bounce, at least to the $100 an ounce again in the next coming weeks, in my opinion. And this should hold this range very, very nicely if we were to revisit it in the next coming days, legends. Okay, something that I wanted to point out there, just a little bit of education of Fibonacci, and for you to check what happened also in the previous bull and bear cycles for Bitcoin, right? Something interesting to point out here for the community, right? A little bit of Fibonacci expansion education right there. Now let's go right away through the price of Bitcoin. Most importantly, let's go bounce now. Yes, stop loss, take profit. What are we looking at? It would have been ideal to take out those April higher lows, if I'm honest. That was a beautiful SFP level, but it is disturbing that we haven't claimed it. The bullish case scenario that we did mention on the higher time frame, if this were to be the low, I'm not counting on this scenario, okay, where we'd have a wave, all right, a B wave here. So what we're looking at is a flat, all right. This would be the most bullish case scenario for Bitcoin. I'm not really counting on it. And if we did not take out this low, this would be a running flat, basically. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, in this case, we would be wanting another fourth wave and a fifth wave here on the lower time frame, because for the moment we've only got 3 waves. I would still consider looking for longs if we form a little consolidation here and test the lows in the next coming days. That is the moment that I want to be looking for the double bottom and really going max long here, because I do see a plus $10,000 bounce at a bare minimum to happen in this area if we do consolidate, form a fourth wave internally on the lower time frame, and then test the lows again. Man, it's going to be a very, very good swing long. It's going to be for a few weeks only, and it doesn't mean that the bear market's over. It's just a internal bounce, of course, looking at the daily time frame. Now, let's cover this. Let's cover the different scenarios, because it's the latest move to the downside that we have from $98,000. I think let's go with the fourth wave correction first and a fifth wave. For the moment, I can see here that we have 3 waves only. Okay, we've got 3 waves. The bearish case scenario here would be forming a larger consolidation with a little bit of more upside momentum in the next few days, give or take. Might be a week or so, might be 5 days, at least a few more days of a range here easily. highs, lows, right? A little bit of a rangy formation, just because a fourth wave usually is longer than a second wave. And if we are labeling this as a second wave, and this is just getting ready for a potential swing long position, we're looking for this kind of movement that it would be about a $10,000 move. This is looking at the 4-hourly time frame. You know, this is finishing an impulsive move to the downside that might double bottom, reach the April lows, or it might get a larger leg to the downside to get even to the low 70K region, even below $70,000. We're gonna have to go with the waves here very, very carefully in the next coming days for this situation to really be clear about the long position here, if that is the case. But overall, we're looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to take a few days, guys. You know, what can I say? It is going to take likely a few days before we can detect this fourth wave, right? It's going to take a little bit of time because a fourth wave can be a very complex WXY. It can be many different patterns, okay? A triangle or whatever. And for the moment, we could maybe have a flat or a running flat, then we form a zigzag, and then we form another flat here, and then it comes down, right? Very confusing, very overlappy in a small little range between 80,000 and 74,000, right? It can be a little bit rangy for a few more days if we do see a wave 4 here being developed. So this is there might be some good shorts to enter, okay? Once this pattern is completed on the higher time frame, we're talking about 4-hour to 1-hour time frame. But there might be some interesting shorts to enter. It's going to take a few days to really detect that fourth wave, all right? But what is interesting also, what is more interesting for me, is that bounce here on the fifth wave, detecting the fifth wave and the levels of support. And I do understand that sweeping up the April lows, higher lows, is going to be one of those major pivot zones. If we break, this is going to be a guideline basically. You trade beneath the level, I'm not interested. As soon as we get back above the level, it's going to be a significant swing long, in my opinion, for a bounce of, I would say easy $10,000 at a bare minimum. So stop loss at the low. It's going to take a few days. This is the higher time frame to detect this swing long position. You can go aggressive, have a stop loss further away, add to the position if you manage risk, whatever, right? Everybody has their own strategy. But I would be looking for that, very, very selective trade setup. Eventually look for that fifth wave and look for the entry. This is going to be one of my guidelines, which is the April higher low. If the price is beneath it, I'm not getting into the long. I need that fake out. Once we get back above that April higher low, that is when I want to execute this swing long position for a larger bounce in the next coming weeks, okay? So that is one scenario. If this ends up being a 5-wave structure to the downside as an impulse, this could be a wave A or it could be a wave 1. Most bearish case scenario is being a wave 1, but if it is a wave A, regardless, a bounce to $98,000 for the next couple of months is very real. It could definitely happen. So it's all about managing the trade and detecting it, managing risk. But it's a very, very real trade at this point, where if this is the 5-wave move down, and we are just looking for the latest move, 5th wave of the 5th wave, right? Because this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the 5th wave, we've only got 1, 2, 3. We need the 4th and 5th, right? Still. So it's on the higher time frame, it's looking for that last 4, 5 of the 5th wave to really understand, we might get a significant swing here for the next coming weeks. But we need a few more days to see what happens, okay? We need a few more days for that trading setup. Of course, the 5th wave, it doesn't need to double bottom, sweep up the lows of April and get a bounce. We might lose this level and we might take a significant hit. We got a major, major resistance support flip happening here at the low 70K levels. But what is more interesting, as explained yesterday, is that we do have that high volume node, right, from this range sitting at 67.5. big major point of control of the range here, which is a massive zone. I do not see the price action breaking out this zone easily without getting a significant bounce. Okay, big level, big point of control of the range here. We can put it on the chart and put it with our point of controls folder, understanding that that is a major level, of course. So yeah, maybe the fifth wave ends up breaking down here very aggressively. So I'm having two guidelines here. If this is going to be the scenario, there will be we can detect, this is like this scenario over here. There is a chance of bouncing here, and this is the low. Okay, there is a chance. I will just have to be that guy that says, guys, I missed the low, but we'll just have to long later on. Okay, which we will manage to, but catching the lows is what is challenging, right? As a trader myself, you do want to be cautious trying to short when the market's pumping, right? And you want to catch the high, or when you want to catch the low, when you have major levels that you want to see swept up, right? Or major support levels that you want them to be hit to then take that long position. So if it does bounce here a few more $1,000 and it looks impulsive, we're just going to have to look at the correction. That's it. I missed catching the low, which is very challenging, and it's not recommended if you're not managing risk and managing your emotions, right? So you're going to see me a lot of the times not catching a low or a high of a move, either for a short or the low. But that is very important, because I mean that means that I do not attempt catching the lows, right, for a long position, right? Not even where it bounces. It's just, you need a very good solid level, a good solid plan, or a bullish market structure change, right, to be confident in that long position, right? We are here to make money, not here to like have many attempts on trying a long, a falling knife, right? We want to be very sure of our trades and manage risk accordingly. So that's one thing here. For the moment, we got three waves. We could be on the formation of the fourth wave that could take a few more days to develop, and then get the last push down to take out the April higher low, and even come down. If we break that level, I would be patient for the point of control of the range at 67.5. Now that is a long way away. That's $8,000 away. So I'm not sure if that wave 5 will extend as low. Okay, if we are going to form a fourth wave here in this range, I'm not sure if we will have the power to come all the way down to 67. But if we don't have the power, I'll just have to stick to my rules, right? Because we might break through from the April higher low and then, hit 72, 71, and then create that SFB. I would just have to attempt the long position from here as we reclaim that April higher low, stop loss at this low. And I could understand that, this has the potential of being the fifth wave. This would be a major swing. The bounce here could be very large, okay? Very large bounce in this case. That could develop in the next few weeks, but very interested in that swing long, okay, and in that fifth wave potential that could be on the formation here. And this is the guideline: April higher low, or the point of control of that range of 2025 or 2024. Sorry, my bad. I mean, this range was 2 years ago already. Yeah. So that's a little bit here of what I'm looking at on the higher time frame as a chilled swing trade, okay, for the people watching the stream. Right, what if we do not come down? What if we do not range? What if we do not form that fourth wave? And we do end up bouncing from here very aggressively in the next coming days. I have to say something that is very clear. I would have to miss that bounce, the bigger bounce, if it does happen here. I'll miss it. I didn't long the lows, and if we're trading at 85, 84k in the next few days, it's a missed long position for me. However, there will be a moment of detecting that impulse, okay? A good level to hit is the golden pocket, okay, from the last lower high of the move down that we had last week to the low. Golden pocket is what we want to be paying attention to, because if that level is hit, okay, without forming a range and forming another low, because then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we start building up here and we form an impulse and we manage to hit that golden pocket without forming a range and testing the lows again, then this automatically will convert into a 3-wave move. We are forming a new developed wave here, preferably looking at an impulsive move. Now, that is the moment that I would be extremely interested in the correction, of course, to get into that long position, okay? Because, that's the moment that I would say, okay, we've formed that impulse, invalidating a wave 4 here to get that move down here to the lows again. And after that impulse, the corrective structure is going to be the moment that I want to long very aggressively, because I will understand that this movement down is likely a 3-wave corrective structure. Now that 3-wave corrective structure on the lower time frame, 5-wave up, 3-wave down, that will be detected in the next coming days. What we would be looking for is the bullish case scenario here, which would be a flat with the potential of taking out $98,000. A lot of people would be skeptical at this point that this was going to form an ABC flat, right? We start rallying here in a 5-wave structure in the next coming weeks. I know, we need this wave to happen. We need that kind of impulse on the 15-minute or the 1-hourly time frame to really detect in the next coming days, so we can be confident about that correction, because this could be a very, very good swing long trade that has the potential of getting above $98,000. So in this case, for that, impulsive move up, to look for the ABC flat here, you either catch the low, which is challenging, all right, unless you enter small and you have a faraway stop loss and you can manage a little bit of the local volatility, double bottoms, right? Or you wait for the confirmation move up in an impulse, right? You want to see that internal 5-wave structure to the upside to really know that we are flipping here the bearish momentum. As soon as that happens, we are interested in getting into this wave. The same as this movement down to take out $80,000. We're interested in this wave. Doesn't matter if you catch the high here. You really want to look to detect the correction in this stage, because that's the wave you want to be in. I want to be in this wave. I couldn't care less to get into the wave 1, because it's challenging at this point on the lower time frame. The movement down looks corrective. I think we could form a flat in this stage, test the lows again. It's challenging. I don't need to get into this wave, not having the high probability on my side. The moment we move up in a 5-wave structure here, I know I'm in high probability here of forming a higher low, and this would be a very, very good swing long attempt to come all the way up here to test the highs, potentially, unless it's a running flat, of course, right? Which we'll have to see the waves and go with the formation, of course. But this is a very, 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 very good setup eventually for the long. And I know people are very, very skeptical about long positions at this point. We've been short already, right? We've been short. We've been talking about taking out 80K. That's it. It's happened, right? Probabilities of breaking down here successfully at this point is just very, very low. It's just low. We've got a 3-wave move to the downside. Forming a bounce, getting multiple 1-2s here there is a chance. However, the probabilities are low. So if it's low probability, I'm interested in what's a high probability, which is actually, really looking for this movement down to really get exhausted. You got a 3-wave move down. Do we form an ABC here? We start getting an impulse. There is a flat scenario potential. I need this wave to detect it. That's where I want to go extremely long. for this scenario. We need the first wave up, or we create a very choppy environment here with a WXY to form that wave 4 here internally to then get the wave 5. That wave 5, it's either going to be a sweep of the lows of April. That's where I want the reclaim so I can long for the bigger bounce to happen in the coming weeks. And if we break that higher low of April sitting at 74.4k, I'll be looking for a major bounce here at the point of control of this range. Okay, value area high, point of control, 69 to 67k zone is going to be a very, very good zone. This is a big higher time frame resistance support flip zone. Okay, and I would expect a lot of support here. So this could actually be a pretty aggressive long position zone for the next coming weeks, right? If we do lose that April higher low and come down to this area, this is big support. You can treat that point of control as a swing failure pattern level. Okay, it can be treated as a tap and go kind of thing, or tap consolidation and then reversal. It is a very good level, and it's a level that I would be paying attention in the next coming days if we do start losing, of course, that April higher low. A little bit of Picasso drawing, a little bit of noise. Of course, we're going to go through the lower time frame right now and discuss the lower time frame, right? What is cooking here? What is cooking? On yesterday's stream, we did talk about, you know, forming a bottom formation, high probability and testing the lows. So we were trading somewhere. Hang on a minute. What's going on here? Spanish IBEX 35. We don't want to look at that. Yeah, yesterday we talked about the double bottom here. Okay. I mean, it is bouncing. If you did get into a long here, stop loss at the low. It is rallying. This movement down is looking quite corrective. You know, I wouldn't count on this trade to be a massive one. You know, I would speculate on taking a bit of profits and just manage the trade accordingly if you did take that long, because that was the main trade that we mentioned yesterday. We analyzed the possibility here of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and looking for either a double bottom or the April higher low. April higher low was missed, so we did end up getting above that low of Saturday, and we're getting a little bounce here. It's just I have a problem with this movement down. It doesn't look very nice for it to be a 5-wave structure. You know, it would have to be an expanding move. There is a way of getting a WXY from here. Shout out to Joan in the community that was pointing this out. But it would be a very small 5th wave here. But it's, you know, it would be technically possible, because, you know, there are ways of counting this bounce over here, just so it's not so overlappy from the high to the low, of fitting a WXY. And then this is the 5th wave here, very small. I mean, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan, but I understand it is possible. But at this point, I would have to. I prefer a major impulsive move on the 1 hour time frame. So if this is going to be a wave 1, I mean, which when we do zoom in on the 15-minute, it does have the potential of being an impulse. Especially if we do get a little consolidation here and we take out the highs again, you would have a pretty okay 5-wave move. Of course, we will need to be careful of an ABC flat. You know, it's going to be interesting. I will follow up this with the pro community, with the trading community, because, you know, if we form a corrective move, lots of overlap, you know, and it's not rolling over, right, aggressively to take out the low, we could definitely form a higher low here, and I might execute a long position then, because I would say, you know, there's a valid 5-wave structure here to the upside, and I'm looking for, you know, a 3rd wave up But at this moment, we need more information, right? We need that staircase to the downside here to really confirm that, okay, guys, it's looking pretty hot for that move up. And we are interested in the third wave always. We're interested in the third wave most of the times. So could that happen? Absolutely. It all depends on how we retrace after this pump. Okay, the retracement will tell us everything. If we start rolling down very aggressively, then we're not interested in this. If we start moving down and overlapping, then we know that it's time for that trigger long position to get that move to the upside. So we'll know this in the next coming hours. Well, between today and tomorrow. This is the 15-minute time frame. So not really in a rush. Very noisy, very overlappy structure. Still just a fresh new little bounce. This could be an ABC flat and we roll over. We could obviously test out the lower highs that we had of the range of Sunday. There's not enough information for me to say, right, we're looking for a long, unless you're long the double bottom, of course, that we explained yesterday on stream, right? It is starting to be an acceptable double bottom range. But for a new existing long, shorts, not really interested at the moment here. Really more interested in shorts. Shorts should be taking profits, okay, from the shorts of the last few weeks. It is time, guys. It is time for getting ready for longs, in my personal opinion. We just want to be a little bit selective, of course. So still very soon. This could be a flat, and then we move down. It could be a flat. You form your wave W, then you form a zigzag down, and then you form another flat here to then form a WXY. Right, and that's your wave 4, and then we claim the lows again, right? It could be very choppy and rangy. That's the moment we could detect that it's interesting for a short position, because as explained, when we talk about timing, it's very, very soon still. This wave is longer than the wave that we had from 98k, okay, just in the last 2 weeks. It is acceptable for a third wave, even though we didn't hit the 1.61 extension. It is longer than this wave. This is you usually range a little bit if you have a third wave to form a fourth wave. Fourth waves are usually quite longer than a second wave, at least similar in size. Usually it is a little bit more longer. So it's going to take a bit of time to detect that nice, little scalp day trade short, I would say, to the lows. There's no swing shorts to be taken. Swing shorts are taken either here or either here for the third wave. Now we're really looking for the last little movements to test the lows. Fourth wave, fifth wave, that's it. We're looking for a bigger bounce. If this ends up being the ABC, right? This is an A wave. This is a B wave. Then we're really looking maybe for a bottom here already, and we start a major impulse in the next couple of days and that retracement. So it's a very, very good area to start looking for longing plans. And I have them, but we've only just got the drop here in the last few days. So it's either we get a 4 and a fifth wave, and then we look for the long in that fifth wave, April higher low, okay, reclaim long stop loss. We're looking for the bigger bounce. If we break that level, then we're looking at the 70k region. We have that point of control, the highs of 2024, major resistance support flip for the fifth wave. If we can detect that fourth wave, of course, correction, we'll look to short it down back to the lows in the coming days. And if we do get a significant rally, I wouldn't worry about not being in this long over here, because I know I will likely have a chance to detect the pullback here to see if it is going to be corrective. This is the 4-hour time frame, and it would be a swing trade for a few weeks, a couple of weeks at a bare minimum. Because if this is going to be a flat, then eventually it is going to take a few weeks, potentially entire February here, to maybe get that rally above 98k. we don't know. The only moment I will know that this has potential is when we get the first impulsive move up here on the 1 hour, 4 hourly time frame. The moment I know that this is possible is only when we get this wave. Big rally here, okay, with a 5-wave structure, and we start chopping staircase to the downside. That's the moment that we really want to know. We really were interested in that long position, and this will be it will be detected. I know what I'm looking for at the moment, so it will be detected eventually when you got your things ready and you have your trading plan and your analysis ready to know what you're looking for. Then you just wait for it, right? We got the bearish scenario, 4 and 5. We got the bullish scenario, A, B. You're looking for the C wave flat here. I know the exact waves that I'm looking for that will be detected by either a short or a long position eventually, right? So swing longs are looking very interesting now at this point. As explained yesterday, this is likely bearish. The bounce here that we had, right, throughout Saturday and part of Sunday, we were explaining yesterday that there is a good chance that this low is going to be claimed because this is likely corrective, mainly a 3-wave to the upside. And we were discussing that, when we were trading in this zone, we're likely going to take it this low. There's no bullish bounce that we have here. If you want to look for a long, you want to look for the double bottom or test the April higher low, right? So double bottom it was. So we broke it, got back above. You can enter here. You're a little bit in the loss because your stop loss is at the low, but then you're in the profit with a 2-to-1 risk reward at the moment. So that's if you did take that trade late last night or early this morning. When we're talking about a local setup at the moment, you could speculate on a rejection. I'll tell you what, I like the fair value gap that we have here on the 15-minute time frame. An ABC flat here is very possible. Now with the bounce here, I would count this as a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 getting developed. You want a little bit of a longer 4th wave and then the spike up for the 5th wave. I would say that this is a 3-wave structure still. You want a little bit of a longer 4th wave and then the spike up in the 5th wave. As we do have that potential here, that's the moment that this is a very, very good fair value gap. Is always good for a swing failure pattern. We already tested those lower highs on the 15-minute right there. This was on Sunday, but I would give it another chance for the flat and get a longer pullback here. So there is that short potential entry on an SFP at 79.35k. You need your wick, of course, for this. You need that price action to get above it, and then look for the I wouldn't, it has the potential of testing the lows, but because this could be a complex 4th wave, right? If you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, you could form a flat here, then a zigzag down, and then a flat here, and you just form a long sideways WXY. That's very, very common for 4th waves. So at this point, I think it's going to be very, very rangy. So if we do SFP, I would treat it as a scalp. There's no swing shorts here, in my opinion, to be taken at this point, because the biggest move has happened in the last few days. Since last Wednesday, we've got the big move down already from $90,000 all the way down to $74,000, right? This is a $15,000 move on Bitcoin in a matter of 4 or 5 days. The big move has happened. If you're looking for swing shorts on these bounces here to come down to 60k, I have to say, it's not the moment to do so. So it would be a scalp short position here when we do talk about that. Fair value gap SFP from the local highs, because you could form an ABC flat, which is W, a zigzag down in wave X, and then you form another flat here to form your wave Y, and this would only be, you know, the possibility of that larger fourth wave here to then form the fifth wave. So very internally, if you're getting into short here, you need to understand that you could be ranging. It would only be a short scalp to get a movement of a couple of $1,000, okay, for maybe an internal zigzag. It does have the potential of coming down to the lows, but you just need to understand that the range could continue here, and it's only a scalp position. There's no swing shorts at the moment to come down to 60k taken from this zone. Still very soon, very complex. In the next few days, we could detect that WXY, and then we will be ready, of course, to look for the short position once Y wave could be in, right? We will detect all of this. It's just very soon. We got the big move down, we're rolling small consolidations, but we will get to a very high probability either short or long setup in the next coming days, okay? Whoever shorted throughout the last few weeks, I have to say, it's not a bad idea. I have taken over 50% of profits, okay, from the swing short position. Put it on silver here. I'm in a small little swing long on silver, and I'm looking to make this position big. So we'll see about that in the next coming days, about that situation. But yeah, if you got into this swing short in the last few weeks, you know, it makes sense to start collecting the profits of your short positions at this point. And I'm very interested in swing longs, but we need a little bit of more time. We need a little bit of more waves, a little bit of more time here to be confident in that swing position. And we'll be given that opportunity. It will be given, and it's your chance right now, as explained at the beginning of the stream, to join 2 months for free the trading community, guys. It's super simple for the access. There's only one requirement: sign up and deposit on one of the affiliate exchanges down below, either Bluffin. Of course, we will share the instructions as soon as you send me the DM access, and you can get 2 months for free, which we are adding other commodities as well. Just added silver today. We're adding the S&P 500, gold. We're going to be adding oil as well, crude oil, apart from Bitcoin and other cryptos as well, with the different coaches. It is your chance right now to see what it's all about. 2 months for free, not one, guys, it's 2 months. And there's only one easy requirement for your own trading. Sign up with an affiliate link, sign up and deposit, minimum deposit just for your own trading. We'll be getting access to you inside of the community. If we don't pass 80,050, we go to 69k. Divine Hood, much love to you, brother. This larger fifth wave down might bring us to the 70k macro support. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is very true, of course, right? Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I really am very much aware of these higher time frame, higher lows, because they can SFP very well. So, but if we lose it, I'm going to treat it as a guideline, because I know we could be looking for much more better levels of support here, right? We've got the higher time frame resistance support flip here. Value area high, point of control at 67.5. You know, there's a lot going on. I don't think it's going to be easy for the price of Bitcoin to break down this zone. But if we break down this one, I'm looking either for the double bottom, well, the SFP literally. And if we do not SFP, That would be my long trade. Stop loss would be looking for a larger range or relief rally in the coming days, even couple of weeks here. It would be more of a swing trade. But if that level does not hold, then naturally, as you mentioned, we could be looking for 70k to 67k region for that bounce, for that larger bounce here. So very much paying attention to that. Thanks for pointing out this 70k region, which is very important. That's if we do not hold the April higher lows at 74.4, which has not been tested yet, which is disturbing. The fact that we haven't tested that level makes me think that we're going to come down at some point and hit it, unless we form that impulsive move up here, corrective structure. Then we can look for the longs in the next coming days, of course. So I'm happy for another low. If you did get into that double bottom that was explained yesterday, based on this price action to the downside, it looks very overlappy. It looks very corrective. It has the chance to be a formation of a flat here, all right, that could only extend a WXY and then move down, okay? But it's not a great swing long position based on how we came down with all of this overlap. Okay, it would have to be an expanding diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is very, very rare to have a 5-wave move in an expanding diagonal. If you have another corrective structure, it's likely that other corrective structure instead of the expanding diagonal. Okay. Joan inside of the community pointed out that there is a way of getting a WXY here in this correction, and I'm like, I don't know, it is definitely possible, and this would be your 5th wave right there. I have to say, there is that, just to get the expanding move out of the way, you could fit in a WXY here in this range, and the 5th wave is this one only. Man, it is possible, with no doubt, and it definitely is. It definitely is a possibility where you have a 5-wave move to the downside already here. Well, that 4th wave could be that one right there. And the interesting thing about that is that if you have a 5-wave move to the downside here, and this being your ABC running flats, we decided that the running flat here is what fits better. Okay, it's a 3-wave move at the end of the day. So the overall question right now is, do we form that larger 4th wave, bit of noise, overlap, WXY, flat zigzag flat, or flat zigzag triangle, whatever? It could take a few days to develop. Then we form the 5th wave, right? That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, breaking down the April higher low to go to the 70k region. I think this would be an awesome swing long territory if that is the case. I would be happy to go in aggressive if we get down to 70 to 67k region as a swing. You need to give room for stop loss. You need to go in low and build up as you go on the bounce. But yeah, I mean, this, as Divine Hood pointed out here, the 70k region, there's that 5th wave could happen, and that's also going on the higher time frame 5th wave potential. So, which would be this one right over here, right? Where this is your wave 1, your wave 2, your wave 3, wave 4, and then your wave 5, right? So that's your higher time frame 1, okay, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right over here. And when we take a look at this wave, we are still having only 3 waves really. So you got still the 4th and 5th to be developed here. That would finish your higher time frame 5th wave, right? The problem is, how deep does that 5th wave go? That's something that we need to analyze and be very ready for the larger bounce. If you get an impulsive move here on the higher time frame, this bounce, has the potential to get above 98k. you know, we would just be looking for maybe a wave A, B, and C, right, for the next coming months. Doesn't mean that, you know, we are entering a bull market again, even though people would get excited on that bounce. You know, I have that feeling that I've seen this before. I've seen this before where you're going to see a lot of people, you know, then speculate on the head and shoulder, right? You take out this low, it might get a reaction, it might go slightly lower, but then you get that bounce, okay, that looks like a head and shoulder, right? So that's the thing. We are at a crucial neckline, right? Support, resistance, flip zone, resistance, support, flip, right? That then you bounce on the right to form that right shoulder, right? Which just ends up in an ABC at the end of the day. You know, it's one of those things that you've seen before, right? So naturally on the higher time frame, you know, this is a zone to really look for the last wave 5, 4 in 5, look at support levels, look at major SFP levels, April high or low, look at big support zones, point of control of this entire range that we had in 2024. You know, this ain't no zone to break down fast at this point, because you need power to break these levels, not come down with a big move already from higher. All of the energy has been wasted to get down here already. You need a kind of a bounce and then break it very aggressively. Too much energy and power has been wasted already to get down to this support. And when you consider all of the waves, that, you know, it's just very, very likely we get this bounce from this zone in the next coming days, right? Regardless, with another 4, 5 or whatever. But man, this is, I'm telling you, I think there's a very, very good chance. I know when we do take a look at the bars pattern from 2022, you know, you're not looking for a major bounce here. You know, this did not happen in 2022. When we zoom out, this is 2022's price action, okay? Bear market. There's no big major bounces. We could go all the way to that price action. The thing is that we were, yeah, there's different price action from the past here. Yeah, it wouldn't be too relevant when we talk about supports. Yeah, no major. It's not the same, of course, from the previous price action that we had, so we can't compare it on support levels. Anyway, when we consider the amount of shorts and the bearishness that we have, the amount of liquidity that there is above $90,000 is starting to be a little bit ridiculous. Okay. I don't think the bears, you know, will have a chance to push the price down to $60,000 and even $50,000 in the next coming weeks without getting a significant bounce to the 90K region at a bare minimum. Maybe it gets to above 98K, we'll have to see, but getting that bounce here to this zone in the coming weeks, I think, is very, very real. And I'm interested in that bounce, of course, as explained. I'm not in a long just yet because I think we have time. You know, there is time to detect the rotation here. Naturally, with this aggressive move down, you know, it's still very, very soon. This is looking a bit corrective, so we could still here have this as a wave 1, wave 2. This the wave 3, this is a flat, and then you form a wave 5 here. And then we look for the bounce. It's just not looking great for this to be the low at the moment for the larger bounce, okay? But we're getting there soon. We are getting there soon. Based on the internal movements. It will likely happen soon. Anyway, let's go quickly through the comment section. I've explained a little bit of where we currently at the moment, it is a little bit disturbing. We're either looking for an ABC or we're looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You know, I think this is what makes more sense. Most of the power has happened here in the last 4 to 5 days. I would not expect a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, you know, absolute capitulation to $60,000 minus, right, in the next coming days. This is not how the price usually moves, and we go with what usually happens and what usually does not happen. Most of the power and the biggest wave happened in the last week compared to the previous one after this bounce that we had, right, after this high. So I do not expect major big moves down here naturally, right? Who agrees or who thinks that we're going to roll over in the next coming days? $60,000 it is for Bitcoin. Bear market. Let me know in the comment section and we can dive in through some internal levels and a few scenarios. I mean, I have explained it does make sense for a little scalp short position at this fair value gap, testing that dead cat bounce high, to have a flat scenario here and get a pullback. There is an internal short scalp here, stop loss above the high of the fake out for the flat scenario, with the potential of testing the lows, I have to say. However, I would take profit already halfway through at the 50% Fibonacci, just in case we form a flat NW, a zigzag down in X, and then, you know, we form a flat here in wave Y or whatever, right, for that higher time frame wave 4. You know, it's only a scalp short, with the potential of taking out the lows, but halfway through I would already consider taking the profits here. It's a scalp, it's not a swing trade to go down to 50k, right? It's just an internal movement. Let's go right away through comment section, guys, you know, and see what the people are saying. Retrace in the fourth wave, possibly to 82k before one last big leg down. Absolutely. Divine Hood as well to round about 82k for that fourth wave. Absolutely. That's coming in at the 382 50% Fibonacci from the last lower high that we had last week. Yeah, 382 to the 50% Fibonacci. That's $82,000. That is a common fourth wave target. That is if that we're going to be forming a fourth wave. We really need to understand how we get up there in the next coming days to then get the next move down, which would be the last one, of course, that will likely take out that April higher low at 74.4, and then it's starting to look for longs here very, very aggressively, in my opinion. You know, either the SFP from the higher low of April, and if we break down, then we're looking at those that big level of support, right, at the low 70k region, 70k region, basically point of control, value area high, resistance support flip. Let's go through the comment section here, just going through here what Divine Hood is pointing out here for the fourth wave. It does make a lot of sense to get to that 82k region in the coming days. It does make a lot of sense when we consider the wave 4 and then the last leg down. I'm looking for swing longs aggressively though. Me too. We're in the same boat. We're just cautious. We're downtrending, of course. Andy looking sharp and sexy today. Thank you, my man. Much appreciated. When is your live stream together with Deviled? It's going to be soon. He's going to be doing mornings and I'm going to be doing evenings, so more New York Open, but we will do some collaborations together in the near future for sure. So we'll speak to him about it. Guys, I'm going to go through the comment section, but first of all, I'm going to go around the table. I'm going to drink a bit of water because I'm getting a little bit dry, and stretch my legs, and then we are talking about going through the comment section, and then we'll talk about some things that you can see on the chart. Do you want me to take a look at silver? Do you want me to take a look at gold, other cryptos, maybe Ethereum, or focus more on Bitcoin, lower time frame or higher time frame? Give me a little bit of your opinion here in the comment section. I'll just go around the table quickly, get a drink of water, and I'll come back. Okay. All right, let's go. That round the table was also to destroy the like button, legends. Absolutely destroy it. How many likes do we have? 200 likes. That's good enough for me. Over 500 people watching. We can get to 300 likes. Easy, guys. Easy. Don't forget to hit the gym today, my bro. Very true. Very true. Ain't too bad. I used to be much stronger before. Not anymore. Right. All YouTubers are searching for the long. Why we don't trade short? We are short already. So this is the thing, right? In the last few weeks, it made sense for short trades. It was a few weeks ago that looking for this to be the end of a correction and really looking to take out sub $80,000 was the range, right? We were, this is a corrective move. We have an impulse. We're likely seeing a correction on the formation here in the next coming days. We want to short down to sub 80K. So, we were very much in favor of coming down to get below $80,000. Shorts have already been taken. So it's time to look for longs. It's time to be ready and ready with some scenarios on how we're looking for the longs, okay? So every YouTuber, my God, what's going on? Every YouTuber looking for longs? Don't scare me. Is that true? I'm just looking at the technical side of it. And it does make sense to start looking for longs. Break to 75K, bear market, searching for short entries. Sven, yeah, I mean, there will be some short opportunities in the next coming days. You know what is common? It is common for a fourth wave to be longer and a little bit complex than your second wave. It is very, very common. It could form a flat here in W, and then it's just gonna range and make us, go very confused. That is exactly what happens if we consider this the wave 4. If we are considering this the wave 1, 2, we got the big move down already. That's on the lower time frame, of course. If we're considering this, now we're focusing on this movement where we have a wave 1 and a wave 2 and a wave 3. The longest wave already happened. The longest wave already happened here. Wave 4 was complex like hell. This formed a very, very complex WXY double zigzag, which we understood that it made sense regardless if we form another zigzag down or the fifth wave. A few weeks ago, it was primed to get the move down very, very soon, be it a week or two or maybe a few days. So what I want to make you understand here is that wave 4s can be long and complex. Okay, this one was a little bit long. If it is going to be a wave 4, it is a little bit long for my taste. It was, 6 times longer or so than your wave 2, almost about 5. But it was complex. It was rangy. It was, you had a zigzag up, then a very, very complex range here, and then another zigzag to the upsides, double zigzag. And, I just want to make you understand that if we do have here, from 98K, your big move down, your consolidation, which was really the area to look for. We were talking about so many different corrective structures in this range throughout the previous week to say, you know, I don't know what's going to happen here, but whatever happens, a triangle, double zigzag, or, you know, whatever, you know, we are looking for that third wave to take out $80,000. We just don't know what's going to happen here, but it's likely going to be corrective based on the structure that we've developed in the last few months. Finished WXY, a bear flag, right? Just keeping it simple, but we like to go a little bit technical here with Elliott wave theory, as always. And you know, we're going to form something here that is likely going to be corrective to get the movement down. And you know, the main reason why I point this out is because this is what could be happening here. We could be bouncing, we could be ranging for several days, because if we see this as a wave 1 and this is a wave 2 and it's your wave 3, you know, it can be a complex, choppy range here if it is going to be a wave 4 to then form the wave 5. So somebody would say, why don't you look for a short position, right? If we're in a bear market, well, shorts were taken. There will be another short to be taken if we can detect this corrective structure. But we've only just recently took out, you know, got the biggest move here in the last couple of days. So, you know, this is looking at the 1 hour time frame. So we need a few days here to understand what is the high probability of the bounce. So, you know, there's two options. If we do not, if we ended up here forming a 5th wave here, which I don't like very much, and this is an ABC, right, to form that larger flat, maybe we get a pretty good damn impulsive move here and a corrective move down. And that's the moment that you need to detect based on the waves, because you might think that this is a 4th wave and we're rolling over, and people are like, short, it's ready to roll over, we're hitting the lower high resistance, right? It's going to provide resistance, it's just going to roll over. However, if we form an impulsive move up, right, and a little bit of a staircase to the downside, very overlappy corrective move, a little bit of a wedgie structure potentially. If you don't have that knowledge, a lot of people will think, well, that's the way, that has to be the wave 4, right? But in that case, I would be ready for longing. Okay, I'm going to be here on YouTube, but the community, the trading community, will be aware about the swing long or the swing short. The intraday short, it would be, right, more as a wave 4 and a wave 5, either a long here or a long from here, depending if it is going to be a wave 4 or not. We will detect if it is going to be an impulse or not, because if it is an impulse, holy smokes, we might be heading to $98,000 in the next coming weeks. I know it's, people get bullish when you've got the rally. We are here to detect the initial stages of the rally, because we can't get bearish down here. We were bearish in the last few weeks, understanding that taking out $80,000 is written on stone almost, right? You know, it's going to happen. We just don't know exactly how we're going to correct here. We've got several options, but we know because we have the first leg down after the correction to the upside. This is detectable. We can detect the high probability movements, but we need information on the chart. Once we have that information here, I will know if what is the high probability, forming a lower high and taking out the lows again, or forming a higher low and actually have the potential of taking out 98k. It will all depend on this bounce that we get in the coming days. So there's time for this. It's mainly swing trade perspective, okay? Any little bounces here or little rejections of a couple of $1,000, you know, is irrelevant. Mainly on YouTube, we look for the bigger moves, of course, just so you have time and have an understanding of what we're looking at. And of course, if I'm not on YouTube, I will be inside of the trading community. And I've got a very, very, very good deal for you guys about the trading community. You just need to read down below the first link. 2 months for free inside of the community. There's only one requirement for existing people that are under the affiliate link as well. It is valid. So just send me a DM. We'll get you in. You have 2 months for free, guys. You only sign up, deposit a minimum amount for you to trade. It's for you for trading, okay? And you get access 2 months for free inside of the trading community. 2 months, guys. Super simple. Sign up, bluff in, okay? I will send you the instructions as soon as you send me the DM. And that's the only requirement. Sign up, deposit a minimum amount for your own trading. Come and join us in the trading community, which we are adding commodities right now. Also the S&P 500, gold, oil. And we're going to make 2026 absolutely awesome inside of the trading community. First link, send me a DM. And let's continue here through the comment section. Mark Dutch, my man, much love. Nico Soapy, let's go. We got the legends. Onges, hello, hello. Much love to you. Long time no see. Much love. Let's go. Suzanne, don't forget the legs. Work on your mobility hips. Absolutely. I do have leg day as well. Very important if you sit for periods of time. Thank you very much for the reminder, Suzanne. My legs are okay. They could be better. I used to be stronger before, not anymore. We'll try and get strong for 2026 also. Much love to everybody. Mark Dutch. Andy used to walk and dance on his hands. True story. It is true. I was a break dancer, a professional break dancer, if you wish. I was doing competitions as well on break dance all around Spain mainly. Not worldwide, but in Spain, yes. CBM, much love to you, my man. Come on, BTC, sweep up the tariff lows. Yes, the tariff lows, the April higher lows are disturbing, of course, because we haven't seen them being swept on yesterday's dump just by a few dollars, right? We missed it by less than $100. Right over there, the April higher lows, the tariff lows right there. And it is a significant level. How nice would this be to see that, that head and shoulder, right? And oh my god, you know, that 98k level, I think it's primed in this bear market, guys. Bear markets get these relief rallies. We never got to the you know, moving average support band. I know CBN looks at that. The 50 weekly moving average, there's, you know, that support band of moving averages is in this area, and it was not back tested. It was not tested. So why not form that head and shoulder just to break down later on in the next coming months this year? Continue the bear market. I'm in favor of that, no doubt. But why not get one of those squeezed rallies in this bear market? And it does have the potential. It does have the potential. Of course it does. Big support, resistance support flip, head and shoulder. Elliott wave theory, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then the bounce. You got also the ABC flat here. That is also possible. Zigzag down, ABC flat, W, X. Then you form a zigzag down in your wave Y throughout the end of the year. Elliott wave counts, confluence counts, patterns count, head and shoulder. Back test, the bands that you have here, everything aligns for that short squeeze in this bear market, and we are here to detect it in the next coming days. It is soon still. We've only got this move down in the last few days. Doesn't matter. There is time to short. If you didn't short the Pico top at 97k, there are ways to detect that short once you get more information. It doesn't matter if you short 97k, you know, there will be moments to, you know, look for the short position, manage risk accordingly. Everybody has their own different trading plans and swing trade or scalping or whatever. But this was a high probability move. If we are going to get up to $98,000 plus, it will be detectable with the next few days. It will be detectable in the next few days. If that is going to happen, you don't need to catch the low. You can catch the fifth wave low, or you can catch the impulsive move in your second wave on the lower time frame to jump in. We will find out that if this is going to happen. Either that's going to be on YouTube or inside of the community. Remember that you have 2 months for free inside of the community, guys. Take advantage of this because we're throwing the house out of the window here just for people to join in and see what's going on in there. Inside of the trading community, we're adding silver and different markets as well, such as the S&P 500 and crude oil throughout the next coming weeks and months, guys. And it's super simple to join in. Send me a DM. You just need to sign up. I'll share you the instructions. Sign up, deposit a minimum amount for your trading, and I'll get you access to the trading community for 2 months at least. All right. Then we'll negotiate things. Much love, Devils. Interesting zone it is, my man. Guys, I need to jump off, unfortunately, here. I might do a little quick video update, or I might do a little live stream later on. I'll see. I've got family around as well. I need to join a few meetings and get a few things ready. But it is soon. I will be updating the trading community, of course. If I don't go on YouTube, not too interested here. We're going to have very good information in the next 1 to 2 days to understand the highest probability move, guys. Okay, still very soon. We will understand everything once we get a little bit more of information on the highest probability, bigger move on the higher time frame. Thank you, legends, for joining. Mark Dutch, Nico Soapy, Devils. Go and check out Devil. Devil will be doing live streams soon on my channel as well. We're going to make this the powerhouse, not only on YouTube, this channel, but also the trading community, guys. Send me the DM. Remember, you got 2 months for free, guys. Super easy to join. Sign up, deposit for your own trading. We'll get you access for 2 months, guys. Much love to everybody. Gracias. Thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow.